Hello everybody and welcome to the Battle of the Week, and today we are celebrating the Sun Tzu's 8th anniversary by commentating one of their open training games from SunTzu's perspective. You might have seen the video, and this was one of the pretty good ones because if you look at our closed trainings, which are completely NTA, hush hush, they're in comparison these are just okay. We got some really good stuff going on there. So this would be just an average game, but this game has something special happening here, which is some unorthodox tactics. But let's take a look at what's going on from SunTzu's perspective. So currently we've got the blue team being positioned with their base in the open and their archers in the city. They do not have the javelins. As such, the javelins kind of have an advantage in the city, but let's take a look at how they are mitigating that advantage of their opposition. So the first thing they're doing is that they're keeping the archers out of sight. That way the red team does not know where the archers are. So now that the archers have made an appearance, the javelins are staying away from their firing line. Right there they have been marked. And instead, the SunTzu has to go towards the first available target. Does a bit of damage. And now comes the fire onto the javelins. Javelins manage to dodge most of it. Still get a little bit. In the meanwhile, if you look at the mini-map, we have a stalemate going on in the open field. Looks like the red team has deployed mostly in the town. Had a bit of lag over there. And the blue team has captured the middle tower. The red team currently has the other tower, but the city tower, in my opinion, is just a little better because there's just so many more hiding spots in the city. A little lag going on. The red team's elephants, the red team in general, is retreating. Looks like they're doing some tactical retreat to get themselves in position against those archers. As you can see, these archers are causing a major threat to the red team's plans, and the city walls are protecting them from the slingers. The slingers are just not very good on this map because of all of this cover. So currently we have the red team trying to envelop against the blue, and the blue team is pushing forward there. The maneuver you see here is just kind of testing the waters. First they see what the opposition does, and then they try to find out what their next move is gonna be. So a very flexible strategy. They're pushing towards the base, and there goes the javelins. Javelins are currently in sight, and that bait takes hold onto there, and the javelins have just disappeared with that tower cover over there. So the cavalry instead threatens the archers, but they get shot back. So now the red team is enveloping them, so they kind of tried to, the blue team has kind of tried a gambit with that forward advance. And the red team is currently enveloping, but they are protected. So let's take a look at the importance of positioning despite the flanks. All the entrances covered, it does not matter what they've got. So, oh, the blue team also has javelins, but they have been heavily wounded. And so we have the first melee engagement in around 4 minutes mark. And the red team's javelins, which are actually mine, are receiving fire. They are tier 7, so they are defensive. So the damage they're receiving is fairly low. And now the elephants are pushing through. So as you can see, the red team is planning to reap some chaos by sending all this cavalry. Oh, took a look at this! Boom! Look at that quick micro by the infantry player, just stopping that cavalry dead in their tracks. Now this is the difference between the competitive teams and the casual teams. Look at all the stopping power. The cavalry made a little mistake by stopping their charge. But still they're trying to do their best. So the blue team skirmishers have been forced to retreat because of their javelins, and now they have abandoned the front lines, which gives the melee advantage to the red team. Well, the red team able to seize that advantage and drive the victory home? or will the blue team recover and push them back? So just look at all this cavalry play. The red team is exploiting every single hole that they can see, but that is simply not enough. They need to be careful. The control that the blue team is exerting over the battlefield using their infantry is just unbelievable, and now the red cavalry has just went down, giving the advantage to the blue team. And so we have more fire on the cavalry going on. Cavalry is still trying very, very hard to take down those archers because they are the prime threat. If the archers go down, blue team will not have enough range to deal with the opposition. So for now, those archers have killed at least 2, maybe even 3 players for now. But as you can see, the game is still very close because the red team also managed to eliminate the infantry of the blue team and is now getting some shots in. Slingers are firing and they are dominating over that tower. So even though they do not have division, they do have the skirmishers and the range over there. So the archers are still keeping themselves in cover against the slingers and do a little bit of damage to them. Oh, looks like Miltiades has managed to flank. But look at all this, just iron defense. The blue team is just not letting it up. Like, how many times have we seen the infantry covering the skirmishers? Because, see, it is so important to cover your skirmishers because they can have the perfect exchange. The perfect exchange is where you do not lose anything, but you gain something. It doesn't matter how slow. I mean, it kind of does in practice. As such, that's why the javelins and archers are so important. But the fact that they're able to do damage without receiving damage is extremely important towards the late game. And now look at these elephants. Despite all of their thick hide, the barrage just manages to get their health down quite a bit. Of course, they've got a few javelins over there as well. But all of the skirmishers, all the skirmisher combination just grinds the elephants to a halt. I also would like to point out how coordinated this missile fire is. All of the missiles are firing onto one unit. This is once again another difference between a casual game and a competitive one. And now the elephants are retreating back to their team, realizing that they will not be able to break through and chase the skirmishers under all this fire. Elephants are great for this role, just to break through the lines, distract the enemy, and sow chaos in the enemy lines while the rest of your troops push towards them. The red team did not manage to do that. They were still holding formation in their own, just doing a bit of skirmishing attacks. But what they should have done was pressure onto that chaos, and they could have overwhelmed the blue team. And now the archers once again with the wall in between them. But I think the biggest problem was the amount of slingers on the red team's side, and in comparison to archers. The fact that archers are able to fire over the walls makes all the difference they need. So let's see. Javelins are in sight, being fired at, and it's a dodge. And as javelins, that's exactly what you need to do. You see the enemy firing, you keep one eye on the horizon, also on the battlefield, and just keep glancing on the minimap for any additional threats. But see what the blue team has done, because they won the cavalry fight. They are pressuring the base, and they have managed to turn their city advantage into a city wall. They have built another wall and are making the red team pay for it. So now the red team, in order to decap, needs to go all around their base for that decap. So now the blue team is pushing for a cap. Now this is how you use the capping system in this game. Now this is beautiful. This is an unorthodox tactic. They just played against the red team, controlled them on the battlefield, blocked them off, and boom, captured the base for victory. I hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.